In this specific video, we delve into the profound principles that underpin the International Consolidated Authority, commonly referred to as the ICA, and its envisioned communist constitution. The ICA stands as a beacon of hope for those who embrace the ideals of Marxism, dialectical materialism, and the pursuit of world unity. At the core of this global entity lies a commitment to the protection of collective ownership, the elimination of capitalist economic models, and the prohibition of political parties that advocate for such systems. Within this discourse, we will explore the foundational tenets of this constitution, discussing not only its safeguarding of collective ownership, but also the various ways in which it upholds the principles of communism, fostering a society founded on peace, unity, and science to propel our species off this planet. The establishment of a constitution is a vital cornerstone for any communist government, serving as both a safeguard and a map for the path ahead. The historical lessons learned from the collapse of the Soviet Union, with its far-reaching implications, underscore the paramount importance of a well-crafted and adaptable constitution. As we embark on this journey of exploration and contemplation, we find ourselves pondering the USSR's fate, a superpower reduced to ashes. Key elements within their constitution, such as allowing republics to secede, paved the way for the disintegration of the socialist order and the subsequent advent of capitalism. The era under Gorbachev witnessed economic stagnation and a lack of direction, ultimately contributing to the USSR's downfall. In this discourse, we not only reflect on these critical junctures, but also embark on a quest to synthesize our unique ideas, drawing inspiration from the People's Republic of China and their remarkable economic success. It is through this journey that we aim to fortify the foundations of our own communist constitution, ensuring its resilience in the face of adversity while embracing the wisdom of those who have walked this path. We will be comparing the roles of two distinct constitutional frameworks. A stark contrast emerges, illuminating the philosophical divergence between capitalism and communism. The United States, a bastion of capitalism, has long championed a constitution that safeguards the rights of the capitalist class and the wealthy elite. This constitution, with its emphasis on individual liberties and property rights, reflects a system that inherently caters to the interests of the few. In this contrasting paradigm, the communist constitution takes center stage, aspiring to redefine the fundamental purpose of a nation's foundational document. It's a constitution that is unapologetically committed to the protection and elevation of the working class. While the capitalist constitution may perpetuate inequalities, our communist constitution plays a different game, one that prioritizes the rights of workers above all else. In the ensuing exploration, we shall delve deeper into the unique characteristics of a communist constitution, focusing on how it, and I quote, plays dirty to protect the rights of its working citizens, and, in doing so, advances the principles of Marxism and communism. The contrasting dynamics between the United States capitalist constitution and our envisioned communist constitution are striking, highlighting the fundamental differences in their underlying philosophies. The US Constitution has long been revered for its protection of the rights of the capitalist class and its affluent citizens. It has provided a framework that caters to the interests of the privileged few. In contrast, a communist constitution is designed to play a different role, a role that prioritizes the rights of the workers and the collective. It seeks to empower the masses and safeguard their interests, while capitalism may perpetuate disparities in wealth and power. A communist constitution is the embodiment of a commitment to equity and social justice, by fostering an environment where the rights of workers are paramount. Our constitution in the International Consolidated Authority endeavors to ensure that those who toil for the common good are protected and elevated. It allows us to play dirty in the sense of advocating fiercely for the rights of the working class, ensuring that their labor is not exploited and that their welfare is secured. It is a constitution built on the principles of Marxism and Communism, with an unwavering focus on the collective well-being of the people. Collective ownership, as envisaged by a communist constitution, is not merely an abstract concept, but a tangible and transformative economic and social structure. In practice, it represents a system where the means of production, resources, and major industries are owned collectively by the people or the state, thereby negating private ownership. This unique economic framework aims to redistribute wealth and empower the working class. Here, we delve into what collective ownership looks like in practice, examining historical examples to provide context for its viability. One compelling historical example of collective ownership can be found in the early years of the Soviet Union. Following the Bolshevik Revolution of 1917, under the leadership of Vladimir Lenin, the Soviet government embarked on a radical transformation of the economy. Key industries such as factories, mines, and land were nationalized and placed under state ownership. This form of collective ownership aimed to ensure that the wealth generated by these sectors benefited the entire population, rather than a select few capitalists. The government, as the representative of the people, played a central role in overseeing and managing these collective enterprises. Another prominent instance of collective ownership was the Yugoslav model of self-management during the era of Josip Broz Tito. In the Socialist Federal Republic of Yugoslavia, workers had direct participation in the management and decision-making processes of their workplaces. This unique form of collective ownership, often referred to as workers' self-management, enabled workers to exercise control over their workplaces, from determining production goals to influencing resource allocation. This system emphasized a sense of ownership and empowerment among the working class. In terms of reinforcing collective ownership through education, the government played a crucial role in fostering a culture of collective responsibility and ownership. Educational curricula were designed to instill an understanding of the principles of Marxism, the importance of collective ownership, and the benefits of working together for the common good. By educating citizens about the merits of collective ownership, the government could ensure that individuals were not only aware of its advantages, but also actively engaged in its implementation. The introduction to a hypothetical constitution for the International Consolidated Authority, or ICA, is a pivotal element, setting the tone for the entire document and encapsulating the principles and aspirations of this global communist entity. In crafting the preamble, we emphasize that this is an idea and a hypothesis, a vision of unity and progress guided by the principles of Marxism. The preamble to the ICA's constitution introduces itself as the embodiment of a grand mission, the unification of the entire world under the banner of communism. It seeks to establish a framework where nations work collectively, acknowledging the shared goal of global prosperity, peace, and social justice, preserving the socialist transition and guarding against the resurgence of capitalism within the International Consolidated Authority. ICA, requires the establishment of punitive measures in the Constitution. While these measures should ideally be proportionate, respectful of individual rights, and determined through democratic processes, the Constitution can outline a framework to discourage republics from attempting secession or a return to capitalist practices. These measures could encompass legal sanctions, such as fines or property seizures, restrictions on certain civil liberties to curb counter-revolutionary tendencies, and, in extreme cases, imprisonment with due process. And, as a last resort, defensive actions in the form of war measures may also be outlined in the Constitution to steer regions back toward the socialist path. It is imperative to stress that these measures should be seen as a last resort, with the Constitution placing a greater emphasis on dialogue, education, and peaceful solutions to preserve the socialist transition while upholding the overarching goal of global communism. Back to the Constitution. Indeed, while the aim of communism is a stateless society, it's essential to recognize the transitional phases to achieve this ultimate goal. As Vladimir Lenin once noted, the state is an organ of class rule, an organ for the oppression of one class by another. It is the creation of order, which legalizes and perpetuates this oppression. However, transitioning from capitalism to socialism and eventually to communism is a process that unfolds over time, and the role of the state is critical during these phases. The Constitution of the ICA must acknowledge this fact, emphasizing that the state, though operating under the principles of communism, still plays a vital role in managing the transition. Lenin's concept of state capitalism is a crucial reference point, underlining the idea that the state takes on certain economic functions in the initial stages of the transition to socialism. In doing so, the Constitution ensures that politicians understand the complexity of the journey and commit to upholding the principles of Marxism, dialectical materialism, and the greater good of the global community as they navigate the transitional phases towards the ultimate goal of communism. We also cannot forget the structure of government that the Constitution will promote. The structure of government is characterized by grassroots participation through people's councils and delegate democracy, ensuring that citizens have a direct say in decision-making processes. The judicial system would prioritize fairness and social justice, with judges appointed based on their commitment to upholding communist principles. Laws would be aimed at preserving collective ownership, preventing capitalist tendencies, and ensuring economic and social equality. In terms of law enforcement, community-based policing could be encouraged, fostering cooperation and harmony among citizens. To protect against potential threats from capitalist nations, a robust, conscripted military may be established comprising a significant portion of the population, with an emphasis on defense rather than expansionist policies. To conclude this video, it's important to clarify that the preceding ideas presented in this essay are purely speculative and were formulated for the sake of discussion and exploration. They do not represent concrete policy proposals, but rather serve as a thought experiment regarding a radical Marxist context. While the video subjects discussed may seem ambitious and unconventional, they are products of an inquisitive mind exploring the possibilities of a communist system. If you followed along with these musings, I appreciate your engagement and interest in the topic. Thank you for taking the time to consider these ideas, and remember that real-world governance is far more complex and multifaceted than the imaginings of the single mind that resides within my head on a solitary night. So please, engage, spread the word to your friends, family, whoever you can reach. We need communism soon. Assalamu alaikum.